Behold, speak in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in your mouth, says Yah, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against you, let not the incredulity of them trouble you, that speak against you. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, says Yah, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Ezra Reviy, for Ezra, 15:1-6 CEPHER. I will send plagues upon you, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste your houses with destruction and death. Ezra Reviy, for Ezra, 15:49. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he who may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble, when it has begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? Eliah sends the plagues, and who is he who can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he who may quench it? Ezra Reviy, for Ezra, 16:5-9.
Take what you can find. Boiled up, these plants fill a gap, but not for long.
My mother taught us the difference between each plant, and we started to recognize them. Each of us eats half a piece of bread a day.
Elsewhere in Rafah, a mother mixes crushed biscuits with milk and water to feed her daughter.
Before the war, I used to feed her fruit and vegetables, but now I can't provide these. I used to give her high-energy biscuits, but we can't afford them.
Doctors at the neonatal intensive care unit at Emirati Hospital say an increasing number of babies are dying because of acute malnutrition.
Most are born with breathing problems, so we place them in incubators until they gain the proper weight, and then they're discharged. Unfortunately, after 5 days or a week, the baby returns in a bad condition. Many of them have died.
The global body monitoring famine, the IPC, says phase 5 on its scale is the most severe and is classified as famine. It occurs when at least 20% of the population is facing an extreme lack of food, 30% of children are suffering from acute malnutrition, and 2 people in 10,000 are dying each day due to starvation. The IPC warns famine is imminent in northern Gaza and could occur any time between now and May. UNICEF estimates 1 in 3 children younger than 2 is malnourished there, a number that's doubled since January.
The doctors are reporting that they no longer see normal-sized baby. What they do see, though, tragically, is more stillborn births, more stillborn babies and more neonatal deaths, caused in part by again, the malnutrition, dehydration and the complications.
Yah shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quakes, and the foundations thereof, the sea arises up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fish thereof also, before Yah, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bends the bow, his arrows that he shoots are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again, until they come upon the earth. Ezra Reviy, for Ezra, 16:11-14. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returns not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me! Woe is me! Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Ezra Reviy, for Ezra, 16:16-20. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of Yah, which has power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. And the 5th angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the Yah of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds.
Said it there. So nearly half of last month had temperatures of 110 or above, and one of those days even reached 117 degrees. So I want to give you a look at what the sidewalk looks out here today. So we heard that we could see temperatures between 160 to 175 on those triple-digit temp days, but here today we're looking at 126 degrees on the patio here, so extremely hot during these days. And so far this summer, they've treated 30 patients for heat-related burns, which can be an agonizing process for people. It requires multiple surgeries, weeks or even months in the hospital, and years of reconstructive surgery and therapy. Last year, Arizona's extreme heat led to a record number of burn injuries, and between June and August, they saw about 130 patients admitted with severe burns. That was up from 85 in just 2022. Now, unfortunately, 14 people died from their burn injuries last year, and doctors say it takes just 10 to 20 minutes on the hot pavement to get a third-degree burn. Burns, Dr. Kevin Foster says he typically sees on people who have survived a house fire.
And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Perith, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw 3 unclean ruachs like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the ruach of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahtzivah. CHIZAYON, Revelation 16:9-14 SEPHER. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed Elohim because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. CHIZAYON 16:21. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein! For the sword and their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Ezra Reviy, for Ezra 15:13-18 SEPHER.
For the first time in China's history, such a large number of dangerous weather events are occurring simultaneously. The city of Fuzhou in Jiangxi province was hit by a convective storm. On the morning of April 16th, the sky suddenly darkened, turning day into night, and the city was struck by a thunderstorm with heavy rain and gusty winds. Later that day, a tornado swept through Huaijin County, Shuozhou District, Shaanxi Province, fortunately lasting only a few minutes and causing minimal damage.
And he answered and said unto me, Into 12 parts is that time divided, and each one of them is reserved for that which is appointed for it. In the first part there shall be the beginning of commotions. And in the second part there shall be slayings of the great ones. And in the third part the fall of many by death. And in the fourth part the sending of the sword. And in the fifth part famine and the withholding of rain. BARUK SHENIY, 2 BARUK, 27:1-6 CEPHER.
It is a period of intense heat and poor harvest. The southern African region is experiencing a severe drought, with many families unable to cater for their daily needs, like food. Drought has scorched the crop that tens of millions of people grow themselves and rely on to survive, helped by what should be the rainy season. Our food situation is difficult. We only eat once a day because we have nothing in the fields, not a single grain. Everything has dried up. We also have problems with sourcing water. We'd like to request that they should assist us with water. Maybe they could erect a borehole for us.
I just spoke with some of the elders from the community, and the last time they can remember this type of drought is 1947. So this is not a normal circumstance, and they say this drought now with this type of heat that they've experienced has not happened before. So we do expect, and we see that also around us, quite an impact on the agricultural production.
The drought in Zimbabwe, neighboring Zambia and Malawi, has reached crisis levels. Zambia and Malawi have declared national disasters. Zimbabwe could be on the brink of doing the same. It has reached Botswana and Angola to the west, and Mozambique and Madagascar to the east.
The situation is totally serious because we actually plant a lot of maize, pigeon peas, maize, and a variety of crops. But because of that period of drought, for the period of 2 weeks, it affects all the crops that we planted. And again of that, we had another experience, a certain armyworms, which is attacked all the maize around in the areas. So it's indeed a serious situation.
And in the 6th part earthquakes and terrors. Wanting. And in the 8th part a multitude of specters and attacks of the Shedim. And in the 9th part the fall of fire. And in the 10th part rapine and much oppression, and in the 11th part wickedness and unchastity. BARUK SHENIY, 2 BARUK, 27:7-12 CEPHER. And in the 12th part confusion from the mingling together of all those things aforesaid. For these parts of that time are reserved, and shall be mingled one with another and minister one to another. For some shall leave out some of their own, and receive in its stead from others, and some complete their own and that of others, so that those may not understand who are upon the earth in those days that this is the consummation of the times. BARUK SHENIY, 2 BARUK, 27:13-15 CEPHER.
On April 23rd, in Hualien County on the eastern coast of Taiwan, 2 powerful earthquakes with a magnitude of 6 and above occurred within just 6 minutes.
Allah, arek maem wae dikancani gempa lho ya Allah. Astagfirullahaladzim. Allahu Akbar. Allah.
The first earthquake, with a magnitude of 6.0, was recorded at 2:26 a.m.
Astagfirullah ya Allah. Ya Allah.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the Talmudim came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of your coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahusha answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceives you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes, in diverse places. MATTITHYAHU 24:3-7. Here now also regarding the bright lightning which is to come at the consummation after these black waters, this is the word. After the signs have come, of which you were told before, when the nations become turbulent, and the time of my Mashiach is come, he shall both summon all the nations, and some of them he shall spare, and some of them he shall slay. These things therefore shall come upon the nations which are to be spared by him. Every nation, which knows not Yasharel and has not trodden down the seed of Yaakov, shall indeed be spared. This because some out of every nation shall be subjected to your people. But all those who have ruled over you, or have known you, shall be given up to the sword. Every nation, which knows not Yasharel and has not trodden down the seed of Yaakov, shall indeed be spared. This because some out of every nation shall be subjected to your people. But all those who have ruled over you, or have known you, shall be given up to the sword. BARUK SHENIY, 2 BARUK, 72:1-6 SEPHER. And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Yitzchak, when Yaakov and Esau were born of him, Yaakov's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Yaakov is the beginning of it that follows. Ezra Reviy, for Ezra, 6:8-9 SEPHER.
And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear you, when ye depart thence, shake off the dust under your feet for a testimony against them. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Sodom and Amorah in the day of judgment, than for that city. Mark 6:11 SEPHER.
Next time. Judgments. On earth and in death.